foster dogs, and he's one of the best dogs to have dogs with issues around because he's just so calming. Well, I'm not allowed in a dog park with my dog. And it hampers you in so many ways. I mean, people say, what are you doing with that dangerous dog? Well, my dog is not dangerous. He's anything but. When my son first said he was going to get a pit bull type dog, I had nightmares because I believed the media and I believed the hype.
It was the year that I was the president of the Ontario Veterinary Medical Association was the year that this legislation was introduced, so it was part of my role to speak to our association's views on this matter. He thought it was a slam dunk, a no-brainer. It was easy to get rid of these awful, villainous, terrible dogs, and I'm going to look great. And he didn't give any thought into it, and I'm astounded. As much as I've been a cynic of the way our government works, I was absolutely shocked at the lack of consultation. He said that he consulted with our provincial organization, which he did not.
So there really is no such thing as a pit bull. What people think they know as a pit bull is usually a mix of several different breeds. Well, right now we have a law that is breed specific. It's aimed at quotes unquote pit bulls, although it's a descriptive law. So it describes the way a dog looks, broad shoulders, short snout, pointy ears, long tail, that kind of thing. That's what this current government came up with.
Pit bull is a breed. It's a man-made breed. It was made for one purpose, to inflict suffering on other animals. It's a man-made product that is a consumer product. If you had 400 brands of painkillers and one was systematically producing more sickness and death or adverse effects than the other 399 or 395, because there's other high-risk breeds, you'd say, hey, is this really safe to be on the market? They love to fight, and they don't feel pain. And you can beat them, you can burn them, you can do anything you want. That's the reason they've never been able to get other dogs to fight.
Well, I used to be able to go out with my dogs and have a good time and go to parks. And now I have to put a muzzle on him, which makes him look intimidating when he's not. So people automatically discriminate, profile, are fearful of him because of this muzzle. They assume that he's a bad dog. They need exercise, they need socialization, and just the fact that every time they go out the door, they have this Hannibal Lecter mask that they have to put on. They can't sniff properly, they can't drink properly when they're out. Dogs sweat through their mouths.
My name is Joanne Ignacio. I'm the owner of Cosmopolitan Pet Boutique and Spa. And this is a grooming salon and also a store. So we deal with a lot of dogs of different breeds. I think it's a little silly because in our business, we do get bitten as groomers. And I've never been bitten by a pit bull. I've been bitten by many other breeds. So I don't think it's right to ban one specific breed. I actually used to be afraid because I got into the whole, I believed some of the things that I heard from the media, but once I got into the industry and had more experience, I didn't really see how that was justified. There are people that still believe those things because they don't have anything to go by except the media stories. So when they hear a story sensationalized, that's all they see.
I think it's a serious issue because it attracts ideologues. And when you've got ideologues onto something, they will make a case that is extremely organized. By the way, this movement, the pit bull movement, is funded by an extremely wealthy woman in New York. She's fixated on pit bulls. I'm not even going to name her because I don't want to get a lawsuit. But The movement is extremely well funded.
I think I read an article recently where she said that we're being funded by wealthy dog fighters. Well, I'm now renting a room in a friend's house and selling my own house due to the time and effort that I put in fighting this band. And we're not being funded by wealthy dog fighters. But the fact is that the only reports you see in media are when a dog does something wrong, and it's usually owned by an irresponsible owner. So you've got thousands and thousands, if not tens of thousands of people like me that are great dog owners, but we're not making the media every day. And we knew that to ban, thousands and thousands and thousands of dogs and turn their owners into second, third class citizens. I mean, this ban brought in reverse onus. In the charter, we are guaranteed to be innocent until proven guilty. Well, now we're automatically guilty and must prove innocence. Innocence of owning a dog that could be a mix from 30, 40 different breeds of dogs. And we must prove that it's not a pit bull. Well, there's no such breed as a pit bull. So it's an impossibility in a lot of cases.
I would like to see breeding operations stopped, and I would like to see the dog actually phased out as a breed.
Over the course of the life of this bill, at least 1,000, I'm using 1,000 as an extremely conservative estimate, a number of dogs have been euthanized, not because of bites, not because of anything they did, simply because of the way they look. You know, they have search and seizure. They can come into your backyard, and they have done so. When you're not at home, if your dog happens to be outdoors and hanging out, they can take your dog. You wouldn't even know where it went. And you might be served a paper, you might not. The Toronto Humane Society did an excellent study showing that the law has had no effect, zero impact on the number of bites. You know, we've got a bit of pushback from some quarters to say, well, yes, it has. There's fewer pit bull bites. Well, if you kill every dog that looks like a pit bull, you're going to have fewer pit bull bites. But the reality is, this is not coming out of scientific research, this bill. This is coming out of a knee-jerk reaction to some high-profile cases.
We've had 3 bills put in to remove breed-specific language from the Dog Owners Liability Act. And so we're waiting for our fourth go at the kick at the can, as they say. These are living, breathing, feeling beings. And to put them on a shelf with no regard to feelings, family, environment, it's wrong. I mean, you only have to own one dog and have a relationship and see the fact that they dream, they feel pain, they love their families, and you can't treat them as if they're a piece of bacon. I would bet that all of these people that are for banning dogs have never worked with rescues or been in shelters or don't volunteer time at the Humane Society. Because if they did, they'd find out that these dogs are just dogs.